Okay, in this video we will see the first lab programs queries. So the first query is retrieve the details of all books in the library, that is ID, title, name of the publisher, authors, number of copies in each program, etc. So we will choose few attributes from uh, the tables. But as you observe, all these attributes are actually from different tables. So what we will do is we will select the attribute from the parent table and we will connect them. So we can select from the child tables also, different table. Okay, so select the query, select first one is program ID, that is what the ID, then title, program title, then publisher name, then book ID and the number of copies. These are the attributes of your table. Now, there is a question, what do you mean by this LP B dot B dot? What do you mean by that? So that I will that that we will give them as aliasing. So what aliasing means? Okay, so I will just explain it very short. So select has the star that we have done already, that select star from table name, but here they have given us only give the information about these things, means only these attributes. So the second version of select is not select star, select the attribute names, but attribute names are from different table. So even though they are from different table, why we need aliasing? So aliasing is, if you observe our the create statement, where the book ID of two tables are same. So when I write a query, then I will tell the book ID, then the query, that MySQL, it will ask me book ID means from which table. Are you talking about book or book authors? So now I have to bifurcate that book ID from book authors and book ID from book. So since the attributes have same name and we are using them in the query, so there can be a confusion that which book ID means from which table the book ID you are referring. So it is better to use aliasing things. So for that, in our query we are using aliasing. So how to use it? Simple. After from, I am giving each table a name. That book, I am referring it as B, and library program, just I am referring it as LP, and publisher I am referring it as P, then book copies I am referring it as BC. Okay, so these are the four tables. Why I have chosen only four table? Because if you see the ID, it belongs to book table. Okay, so the title, it belongs to the publisher table, and uh, the name of the the title belongs to the book, the name of the publisher, it belongs to the publisher table, then authors, book authors, then number of copies, it belongs to book copies, and program, you can have a program ID, it belongs to library program. So I have chosen those four table. So I have missed authors here from the query. So you can try it out which table it belongs to, that ID, this attribute. So I can include that table name here and give a aliasing. Then you can use it in the query. Okay, so after this is the tricky part. So where means condition, where. Where means I have to give a condition with respect to that your query will be executed. So now I'm giving, I'm mapping everything. Everything means I need to connect it. So how to connect it? So connecting is done by using your primary key and the reference keys. So there the concept comes of referencing. So now I'm connecting these two table, that is book and your BC means what? The book copies. So I am connecting this by using the book ID. Why? Because the number of copies of that book has to be referred to your book table. So that is how we have created that thing, that is book. So I have given a book ID and number of copies of that book is stored in your book copies table. Now this book ID and this book ID is same. That's why if these two matches, take the information of book copies of that book. That is what I am referring here. If these two are matching, then you can fetch the number of copies. So that is what we can see it in our see it from our the inserted values. That is the book ID of 100 belongs to uh, program ID 10, then it has 5 copies. So if I match 100 of my book copies, that 100 ID with the book table, with the book table here, so I will get the title and its number of copies as well as publisher name. Okay, so why, sir, there is a book ID here also, why we cannot match it? So that's why the book ID should be matched with the parent table, means the primary key where we have done. Okay, so this 100 is a primary key, means book ID, and this is the foreign key. So you have to match with your parent table, not with this. If you observe book authors, that is a reference key, means it is a referring one. Means what? It may have the information of that book or not sometimes. So that's why if you match, you can get there is no book author for that. So that's why we are not doing this. Okay, so please remember this. We will match for with the primary source. So this is the first step. Then second one. So you just go with uh, go with what? The query with book ID. Then we have to have I have to get what? Program ID 2. So now the program ID, where it is defined, it is in the library program, means it is a primary key. So now all four tables has to be connected. So first we have connected with the book with the book copy, then book copy with the library program. So how it should be connected? So if you observe the create statement, so the library program and book copies, it has program ID, which is a referring one. So just match these program ID. So you will get for this program ID, you have this book and it has these number of copies. So that is what we will get here. So that is what the first and the publisher name. So if you want a publisher name, just we are matching with book publisher name as well as this. So if you execute the query, you will get this answer. So you will get for book ID 10 having a title network, book computer networks and publisher name, and the book ID is 100 uh, and number of copies are 5. So the program ID, title, name, publisher name, book ID and number of copies. So in the same way how you have given the attributes, that is program ID, title, name, book ID, number of copies from these tables, where you have to map the condition. That is the first query of our first lab.